Well, I mean, that's more than the length of your fingers.
Exactly.
So you know,
Oh, wait. Hold on. Crud. Where is, sorry. Okay. If we take the propellant as, so we're looking at about 7 to 8 kilograms
yeah, close to it. I was
in
thinking 20
mass,
pounds for some reason.
which is, yeah, which is close to 20 pounds.
Yeah, 17, 18 pounds. So big bullets. What the weight of like a toddler,
Yeah. Yep.
not a baby, right? Like a toddler. So, um, there's and of course there's different rounds. There's ones that they go boom. There's ones that go through things and suck things out the other side. They have all kinds of stuff. There's some they're just like pretty lights, right? Just those shiny lights, nice. All very peaceful, all very loving, in the army kind of love way. So,
Army kind of love way.
um, yeah, I pressed me for a second. I was laughing.
Yeah, I thought I lost you for a second. I'm like, what the?
I'm just laughing about army love. They threw what they call heat, which is just basically an explosive. I don't know what the shrapnel range on that would, but there's nobody in the building that survive. Um, just one, and I imagine they load probably a couple at it until the building crumbled.
The point that, let's put a little bow on this. The point is that they would have been gone. That the SEAL team that was in the building that they were looking at, oh, maybe I shouldn't say SEAL team, but anyway, the SEALs that were in the building that they were looking at getting rid of, they would have been gone. They would not have survived. And so, what is it about this situation and what they did that allowed them, and I mean the the army and everybody, to figure out, no, this is not what, no, we don't want to fire here. This is a bad idea.
The army didn't figure it out. It was really Jocko that pulled them back and made them re-identified. Now you got to keep in mind that Delta Team had to move from their original location, right? So they weren't where everybody's expecting them. Like everybody in their mind knew that the teams are going to be here and here, and those are our teams, right? But all of a sudden, they had to move, and maybe the message didn't get located, or right, or there was a lower sense of attention to detail because of changes that happened in the field. And I'm not making fun of anybody for that. That's natural, right? And that's why you have to be able to have decentralized command. I'm trying to find another word for it, but that's why you need to leaders need to be able to remove themselves and still stay in the loop, to observe these things and to communicate with the other key leaders to make decisions together quickly.
So what you are saying, so one of the things that I want to, two things that I want to point out with what you just said. One is, oh crud, I missed it. I was also trying to see if I could find it as well. Do 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 do. Oh, crud. Oh yeah, one of the things that you just said is that essentially discipline became lax with some of these missions and things like that. And so basically that means, you, well, how did they put it really nicely in the book? It's, it's what you tolerate. That's what it is. If you accept poor performance, that performance becomes the new standard. And so it's not about what you preach, it's about what you tolerate. So I'm sure these commands did preach a lot along the lines of, hey, we need to make sure we maintain discipline, we need to maintain discipline, we need to maintain discipline, things like that. But they probably tolerated a lot of laxity in their discipline. And so that's kind of one of the things that led to it. Now, the other aspect of what you just said is it is so here's one of the interesting things, and this is the hardest thing I've noticed for engineers specifically. Engineers, we are very detail oriented people by nature and by training. I say by nature because there that seems to be one of the common traits that I find among a lot of engineers. Um, when they come into it, they tend to be very uh, like
Anal,
just what
anal.
yeah, like very detail oriented. Like what some of the work or some of the best slash worst engineers that I've run into, they get very pedantic about things. So like you give them a definition of a certain word, and that definition is not exactly what they think it should be. They have to correct you. Like they absolutely have to. And it's one of those things where it's like in some ways you may sit there and be like, that's stupid. Why are we being that anal about that definition of a word? We shouldn't have to be if we all have a general understanding. And in some way, in other ways, it's like, we do need clarity. We need to be sure that we are clear in our speech and everything that we're saying. So anyway,
That's why
but
we have design patterns.
exactly. Hey, if you're going to lean forward, can you move your mic with you too? Yeah, sorry, man.
Does it make any noise when I move?
So sometimes, like when you first tap on it, the springs will start vibrating. But if you have your fingers on it, like just gently on it and gently move it, you're not going to get any vibration and things like that. The main
Okay.
thing is just the way the mic is set up. So when you lean forward, you're leaning out of the pickup range, so it sounds really different.
All right,
Um,
cool. I'm trying to avoid the other noise.
yeah,
Trying to
I
get my
understand.
way.
Well, no, like I said, if you leave yourself unmute while that noise is going on in the background, and just leave like a blank spot of you not talking, I can capture that and I can get rid of it. It's really easy. I love modern technology. But so engineers tend to get like very detail oriented, and one of the difficulties is when an engineer moves from like the coding side to more of the managerial side. You have to learn all new skills and everything.
Soft
And
skills? Ugh.
I don't even like the phrase soft skills. I don't anymore. Like I used to think, oh, hard skills, soft skills. The idea is that like with a hard skill, it's a skill that you can measure, and with a soft skill, you can't necessarily measure it. Um, but like I'm not exactly a huge fan of that myself anymore because I think skills are skills. Um, and trying to classify, and on top of that, you kind of also essentially when you start classifying them that way, you make it so, oh, well, this person doesn't have these skills and isn't going to. Well, you can learn both. You're just not necessarily going to be really good at one or the other. There's just one that you're going to be more gravitate towards. But
I'm
one of
pretty
the
sure I've seen evidence that some people can't. Like, I'm just throwing that out there. We all know those people. Um, we got to get past of our extreme ownership and sometimes fire people. That said, I digress.
there's actually we'll go into that digression at some point because there's funny stories and stuff. Anyway, the point is that very often what happens with engineers when they move into the managerial role, especially like during the first 6 months of them being there, and when they don't have another like a mentor who's been a manager over them or working with them, is those engineers still get like sucked into the details of things. Like they just want to focus in laser like and just continue working detail after detail after detail, and it's just like it's ridiculous. And it gets actually very frustrating for the people who are under them because it's like you're because when you are a manager and you start focusing on details, what you've done essentially is cross over into the line of micromanagement. Your frontline workers are you need to sit there and actually understand you are no longer the expert on this stuff.
That's a hard thing for a lot of managers to accept. I think, to be honest, everybody that's made that transition has a hard time with that because um, at some point you look back and like it was nice. It was so nice and warm in your space. You finally were feeling yourself great. You knew everything. You were efficient and you could get the task done. And all of a sudden you're in a management position and you have to all of a sudden, like you're a junior dev, rely on other people again. And you fought so hard to get away from that.
Yep, exactly. And your performance is very much measured by the performance of the people under you. And whereas when you were an engineer, your performance was measured by you alone and not other people. Yes, other people affected it, but it was mainly you. So the whole, like, it's very difficult.